Hello, dear hearts. Thank you so much for your interest in connecting with Gaia and the recent offering I did that has been posted online regarding the importance of Gaia. On that note, I had mentioned regarding the evidences that I will be releasing based on the travels done in this lifetime, doing everything I can to reconnect us with all of this Earth's enlightened lineages or fragments of whatever can be found, and to also bring back some sense of link to what predates all of this Earth's understanding of religion and religious bodies and Abrahamic faiths. Because if we're trying really hard on this quest for truth, we are also examining everything that has ever been, just to be able to better relate to our own unified and also aligned attempt and journey. If we ignore and put to the side an attempt to rekindle and gather fragments to resurrect what are the true ones, the enlightened ones of this earth, and not just focusing solely on the past, but everything that has brought us to this moment, and invoking and preparing for all of that capacity of what's ahead as well. Doing that will serve so much for our own unique contribution and create a lot of experiential authenticity in the way we relate to this reality and others. Because there is really so much Gaia is offering and sharing and giving. And we take it for granted. Perhaps we've been educated to. But we can always unlearn and relearn, especially in moments like now. So you'll see the images that I'm sharing with you, and you'll understand, I guess, where the angle is coming from, because we have evidence, incredible evidence, just through basically retracing and gathering fragments, right, of what was the enlightened lineages of this earth. In saying this, before I, spell it out for you or, tell you my version of what I think I'm looking at, I also want you to have your own experience and amazement and awe as you go through the imagery, because what you'll see is something that is pure, respected, and a teaching for how we can also relate to and understand our need for rekindling and putting the pieces together so the journey becomes much more rich and robust. Of course, with my own family, birthed into an incredible link to incredible realized masters, so many in fact, as I've mentioned before, and a strong great mother goddess lineage that has been so kindly activated and trained in my being, thanks to the incredible people close to me, my mother, my grandmother, the women of my father's family, and also my teachers who didn't let that slip away, because it's a very important piece. And through that, so much of what I offer everybody is possible. But in saying this, we all have this access. We are all of Gaia. We are all capable of finding Gaia and seeing that treasure within us, and therefore being so capable of relating to her within and throughout as a key component in this quest for truth. So, the imagery, Gaia has many names. She is not just known to be one when it comes to what she can be labeled as. Her presence in the point of worship across this earth has been very active. You can find resemblances in Celtic faiths, ancient Celtic faiths, of course ancient Greece, all of what we know as Asia Minor, the Middle East, definitely in India, of course, and throughout this whole earth, if we can find fragments, I can assure you, they all take us back to the Great Mother Goddess in the form of the Earth Mother, as well as many other of the retinues that are involved in the Sacred Feminine, the hand which feeds us, and the patrons of this earth which support us in the form, once again, of the divine and awakened and sacred feminine. So there are fragments and we will find them. And in saying this, even though we have evidence, living evidence of a human being, the Buddha himself, Gautama Siddhartha, who was here 2,600 years ago and took the form of a human being. Of course, not just a human being, also a prince, to be king, who was able to renounce that in order to gain something greater that would surpass the boundaries of one life. He went out to find the truth. He wanted to seek out the truth, and he did it because he knew what he was going to find was far greater than whatever he would have accomplished if he didn't leave his kingdom. And yes, he did become a fully awakened Buddha, and in the Buddhistic system, he is the Buddha of our time. He is Gautama Siddhartha, and there are many Buddhas of the past and many Buddhas of the future, and definitely many Buddhas of the present. And in that incredible Buddhistic system, which I find so pure and without much stain, you can link directly with the words of 2,600 years ago. You can jump onto platforms such as 84,000, which is a website that has incredible works and translations that you can read through, everything that has taken place back then, and all these incredible teachings that are linked to that Buddha, the Buddha of our time, Gautama Siddhartha, Shakyamuni Buddha. And you can learn and read about that. So even though we have all that, even though that's a living example and an extraordinary one, we can also say that there has been more. And you see, regardless of whether there is a broken or not lineage to the more that there has been, it is good to remember that there has been more, that there has always and will be more, because we are in a cyclic dimension, and just because the times change and go through their seasons and go through their ups and downs, so does the centerpiece of what we worship, of what we are drawn to. You could say now for thousands of years, not just for 500 years, but for thousands of years, the understanding of the world has been formally and also forcefully put onto mankind here. And that word is an example, as mankind, as man, as evolving into a more dominant suppressive force such as the patriarch. And why? We have to question the why that has taken place. When in history had that then cut out all the more that has happened? The rich and ever-present more that's happened. We can question so much, we can contemplate so much, but it's necessary to be aware of the fact that there has been more. And the evidence I'm going to show you, the photos that I've taken of the Great Mother Goddess in Asia Minor, in and throughout what we know as the Middle East, in also parts of modern-day Greece, the Great Mother who, quite frankly, and it is important that you keep this all in your notes, that you understand, who has been centralized as a key location of worship, who has been centralized as the giver, the hand that feeds us. Not only that, but as a primordial divinity. Now you must look into the word primordial, because this will assist you in understanding where that comes from in all other faiths thereafter. Okay? Because in the prehistoric origins, the Mother Goddess, the Great Mother Goddess, in the form of the Earth Mother, in Neolithic settlements, for example, in Asia Minor, go back as far as the 8th century BC, the 6th century BC. So many incredible findings. Okay? Yes, even more so if we look at ancient Minoan belief systems and all of what was left there, which is very, very ancient. Again, taking us to this supreme ruler of our reality, our primordial Great Mother Goddess, the Great Mother who is no other than this reality and what it can do and what it's capable of. So that has been powerfully respected until times changed, until all of what that was feared, removed from our collective understanding and, of course, cultural heritage and memory, and so much else was taken down. You know, when the rise of Abrahamic faiths took over this earth and, I guess, took on different forms of the same, because it's all an evolution of what was prior. And the word evolution doesn't do justice to the act because so much brutality happens. So it would also be a degeneration of what was prior, if you ask me. But you will see and find fragments, so many fragments of what was there so long before and so vividly in amidst all of what is the Abrahamic belief systems of today. Now, just to incorporate what I was also carefully handed, even from the womb, is links to incredible Tibetan Buddhistic masters and the Buddhistic faith being around me. Even before I was born, it had been there. And that is something I cherish because of the fact that it had not been tarnished. It's a real clean line of what you can receive in terms of a lineage. Okay? But in saying this, you know, my own peoples, the Greeks, believe it or not, were the first to ever create Shakyamuni Buddha Gautama Siddhartha's statue, bring him to life, make him a living, you know, icon of symbolism. And you should look at Gandharan art. You can find the ancient Greek Gandharan art in the museums throughout Paris, in the Metropolitan Museum in the United States of America, definitely in India, in New Delhi, and even in places like Sydney, in the Art Gallery in New South Wales. You can find evidences of incredible works by the ancient Greek people during the Gandharan period and see how they brought to life Shakyamuni Buddha Gautama Siddhartha, because there have been many Greeks, ancient Greeks, following the truth which was the truth expounded from Gautama Siddhartha, Shakyamuni Buddha. In those days, you know, post 2,600 years ago, the exchanges that happened to obtain wisdom, to find the truth, was very, very abundant. But so much gets cut out, gets eliminated, gets hidden away. So I'm inserting this because the imagery you're going to see, the evidences that you're going to see, will really make you feel awe for the beauty and the resemblance in the beauty of honoring and venerating and respecting the Great Mother Goddess in the form of the Earth Mother and primordial truth in the form of the Sacred Feminine, again linked to the earth itself, coupled with the imagery of this incredible ancient Gandharan art, where you see Shakyamuni Buddha Gautama Siddhartha flanked by incredible divinities, ancient Greek divinities also, future and past awakened ones, and you can understand the power of seeing the visual of these kind pieces of art that bring to life a certain consistent evolution. And in this case, I would call it an evolution because the exact same pieces of art that you're seeing in this video also took place prior to the time of the artwork exhibited and created and offered for Shakyamuni Buddha. Those art pieces of the Great Mother Goddess in the form of Cybele, and she has many other names. Some would also see her as an extension of Gaia, coming from Asia Minor. The Romans very much brought to life that, but again, it was an extension of, again, Romans bringing to life through art what the ancient Greeks were bringing to life, also what Asia Minor was bringing to life, because there are definitely those regions of Anatolia and all of what the ancient Hellenistic world was, and prior to that, and all those regions, from thousands and thousands of years ago, evidences of the Great Mother Goddess being very active in worship there. Now, if we can say, oh, this little Great Mother Goddess figurine is 4,000 years old, or this Great Mother Goddess sculpture flanked by 2 protector divinities. Can you believe it? The Great Mother Goddess herself holding a lion, flanked by human beings and 2 divinities. Her as the centerpiece, created around the time of Shakyamuni Buddha himself, when he was around. So let's understand that there is more. And yes, things have to develop based on the times we face, but it doesn't exclude or cut off anything. If we're truly focusing on getting awakened, if we're truly focused on helping people, we must understand that there has been and always will be so many awakened ones. Yes, there are fragments nowadays. Yes, it's complicated to find everything and find living transmitters of those truths. But regardless of that, simply just trusting and understanding that there have been many, and it is just an evolution. In some cases, a degeneration, but there's so much that will enhance our faith and our belief, that will make us more entitled to protection and help from Gaia, from this earth that we stand on and the earth within our being, okay? And also, whether we want to or not, we should at least always respect everyone who's ever been enlightened, fully enlightened, who has, really done everything they can to serve everyone and help everybody through their awakening, through their complete freedom. See, in this evolution of divinity and merging with the divine and respecting the hand which feeds us, it wasn't lost in Shakyamuni. It wasn't lost in Gautama Siddhartha. What came after, as all things, is based on the people that then took what came after and made it what it is today. But in his court, in his act, in what he did, as a living example, he brought in the Earth Mother Goddess. It was his witness at that final moment before defeating all of the distractions and illusions. He called her in as his protector witness because he was completely devoted to her. He knew where he was. He knew he was touching the earth. Right? So we respect anyone who has done that and has flawlessly offered that complete and perfect gift to this earth for us. And we respect everything else that has been fully awakened. The rule of thumb is if you're fully awakened, you care about others. You really want everybody else to be liberated, to obtain the truth of all, right? And it's also very much linked to that trust, that belief in communion with something true and authentic and complete. When we are greater than the self, when we wish to dissolve the self, the ego identity, the self as it constructs and tortures and does everything it can to maintain something that just cannot be kept because this is all impermanent, Whatever wants to help us submerge or emerge or merge with truth, and really does do it because there is a deep, true concern, that is the most beautiful thing. And these ancient Great Mother Goddesses, they were very much that. Imagine a time, a place where these masculine, sacred masculine divinities were flanking the Great Mother Goddess. Soon after, it was these same very masculine, incredible divinities flanking the Buddha Shakyamuni, right? If we want to make an artistic comparison. And what's even more incredible, if we look at this art that you're going to see, who is flanking? Who is flanking the Great Mother Goddess? Who are the divinities? One of them looks just like Gautama Siddhartha, but I'll leave that up to you to contemplate on. One of them looks just like Shakyamuni Buddhi. So imagine if Shakyamuni Buddha was also happy to be placed in some ancient artifacts right there next to the Great Mother Goddess as she embraces her child, this lion, and is also flanked by, well, we say in ancient Greek, Zeus, Vias, the god of all, the Almighty. In Latin, Jupiter. In India, ancient India, he'd be known as Indra, I believe. So, I'll leave it up to you to contemplate. It was a huge joy to take these photos, to be exposed to so much incredible and rich heritage still available. I will mention, though, the photos of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Gandharan pieces, those I did not take myself. They're from open sources. Those are actually from, as I mentioned, Parisian museums, New York Museum, and also you can find most of these others in the New Delhi Museum, Archaeological Museum there in India. But yes, all these Great Mother Goddess sculptures I was very grateful to be able to take, and yes, I leave your hearts to openly contemplate and most importantly to rejoice, because you know there is no flaw in the story of Shakyamuni, absolutely no flaw, and everything that came before that or lived as an example to liberate all beings until now is also equally as valuable. Whether we can have access to it or not, we need to at least bring it in and pray for it to rise and ask for it to be present again, because the evidences are found. We just have to trust in that. Thank you so much. Enlightened lineages rise. Great Mother Goddess, enlightened Great Mother Goddess lineages rise. And may the incredible teachings of the truth never stop being made known to us. Thank you.